So I did this story earlier and there's already an update. So I'm doing the update. She says, update to the am I the a-hole for losing it on my husband for not taking care of our newborn the whole time I was at work. So literally, I just did this earlier today. She says, hi guys, I'm back with a small update. First things first, I ended up taking baby girl to the hospital last night after my soon to be ex-husband left to go drink or do whatever. I waited until he was gone and packed a small bag with all of our important information and went to the emergency room since my daughter's pediatrician is closed until Monday. She was looked over and they kept her overnight for observation after I told them everything. She had a rash. They tested for a UTI, and I expressed my concerns over her having shaken baby syndrome, which wasn't something that even crossed my mind until a lot of people mentioned it in my first comments. The emergency room doctor said she was alert and bright and very unhappy with the IV. She cried so hard when they stuck her with the needle. So they wanted to observe her first before putting her through a CT scan. She was dehydrated, so they had to put an IV in first. So she had to have an IV put in. I think I got maybe 4 hours of sleep throughout the whole ordeal. She is such a happy, smiley, drooly little baby, and my effing heart breaks for what she had to deal with at the hands of her father. I will have to have a CPS case open against me and her father for his neglect. I'm going to cooperate with them so it helps me gain as much physical and legal custody over her. I don't feel confident that when we divorce and he is granted some type of custody, this won't happen again. Since I called out of both my weekend shifts and Monday shift to go to social services, best believe I'm applying for everything: SNAP, WIC, TANF, medical insurance, etc. I don't think I'll have a job at Cracker Barrel much longer, but I literally took that job just to have a job. A couple of people messaged me with remote jobs that I might be able to get with my degree. Once we're settled in the shelter, I'm also hoping they will be able to help me find a decent job, hire an attorney that won't cost me $5,000 for me to divorce my husband, and to help me set up child support payments. He can F all the way off into the sunset for all I care, but I didn't knock myself up by myself. So many of you were kind, offering me places to crash and support. I'm so thankful and cried a lot. A lot of you have been in my situation and gave me words of hope when I was feeling really, really down down and dumb over my choices. I have a hotel room for the next 2 nights, thanks to awesome people in this sub. We are going to the shelter on Monday where we can start rebuilding pieces of our lives. And honestly, I wouldn't shed a tear if my soon-to-be ex decides to just give up his parental rights. I've practically been a single parent for the past 9 weeks. What's another 18 years of doing it by myself? I literally left with the clothes on my back and a bag for us both to share. So I thought of just starting from scratch. So the thought of just starting from scratch is terrifying, but I know is what I have to do. I know a lot of people were worried about us and our safety, but we are safe. We are okay for the most part. I still go back and forth from sadness to rage to feeling down and being angry at my 17-year-old self for thinking an older man would take care of me, and it turned out to be a bunch of lies. I have blocked my mother-in-law and soon-to-be ex, and I'm genuinely thinking of changing my phone number to cut off all communication with them both unless I'm like ordered to by the court or something. I just want to wash my hands clean of him and pretend he doesn't exist. I can never trust him or his mom, really. Again, with my daughter, as someone who didn't grow up with a father and it made my mom hate me because I looked like him, I have a very clear memory of her throwing a pot of water at me because I made a face that looked like my dad's. Part of me hurts for my daughter because I sure picked a shitty sperm donor for her, but she deserves so much better than him. I will post again on Monday for everyone once we are safe in the shelter. So that is her update. I know that people in my network were asking if she had a Cash App. I did ask her. As of yet, she has not responded. Ellie Carr the first says, I would unblock them so you have evidence of their horribleness in court. That's my one piece of advice. Other than that, I'm really proud of you. It's so hard to uproot your whole life with no safety net, but you're doing amazing. Please keep us posted on how you're thriving. Unblock but mute. You don't need to read or hear that vitriolic crap, but your lawyer will be able to use it in court. This person says yes, and don't respond. Just let it go. Mr. Band says police can escort you back to retrieve your clothes and belongings. This person says I was thinking the same thing. Please arrange it for when you get to the shelter. Zesty Close says this: ask for an escort to get your and your baby's belongings. Shelters are always short cribs and bassinets, and he isn't going to use them. Box up any treasures and get a small storage locker until you can find a place. So they are being very kind in the comment section. If she does update and comment back with her Cash App, or if she gives any other information, I will make sure to give it to y'all. But this is what we got as of right now. Literally, she is safe, and the baby is being checked out, and it sounds like she has the resolve to actually get away. So I am very happy to do this update, and we will be checking back on Monday or Tuesday to see how life is going with her. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So we have a really short Am I the A-hole post. It was sent to me, and I was also tagged in this post. She says, am I the a-hole for refusing to date guys that ask about my body count? This question and the so what do you bring to the table and the I'm looking for a submissive woman, that should that should X quite a few people that believe in the red pill talking points off the list. Just cross them off the list. She says the whole what's your body count just seems so immature to me. Like, what are you going to do with this information? And it's just so strange to be on a first meetup and then get hit with, oh, how many dudes have done it with you? Just seems like a dumb question to ask someone in general. And the funny thing is that most men that ask this get really offended if you ask the same question. I just save us both the time it takes to build a relationship by not even trying after I get asked. Or at least if they won't stop asking, if I told them that I'm not going to share it. And it doesn't matter. They either are going to believe you. I mean, it doesn't matter what you say. They're not going to believe you. So someone like me, I'm literally 43 years old. I don't even remember, but I can say 7. I can say 10. It doesn't matter what I say. The answer is I like literally don't know. But what are they going to do with this information? I don't know. But no matter what, the answer is wrong if it's more than one. Dear Mycologistical says, you're allowed to not date anyone for any reason. And that's absolutely true. You can have whatever deal breakers you want to have. Ecleptomania says, including their body count. Impossible Dingo says, including his income and height. Tricky Objective says, yeah, height, weight, income, body count, views on body count, wider values, shoe sizes are all valid. Whether or not this significantly impacts your ability to date is probably related to how much of a catch you are yourself. Long Jumping Fun says, including their ability to have children or if they already have children. Droomby says, including their weight and their number of baby daddies. You can see all of the red pill talking points coming out and flashing. Daharan says, the way this kept escalating into definitely not personal insecurities is hilarious. The Battering Ram says, including some a-hole named Steve who said he was my best friend. My God, Steve. Rare Error says, I hear body count and think, how many people have you deleted? Me Lazy Catherine says, it's like the ones buried in the swamp or the ones that saw me naked. You're going to have to be more precise. Crazy Daisy Maisie says, I want to know how many in the swamp saw you naked. Vamex Life says, I've dated a few swamp things in my time. Me Lazy Catherine says, none that I know of or none that can speak about it. This person, Quirky Journalist, says, hold up, if you unalived everyone who saw you naked, I'm going to pass on trying to have a relationship with you. What are you, a praying mantis? And then Hobo AKM says, I got scared once. I was asked this question when I got out of the military. I started crying and then they explained. And then this person with throwaway says, same happened to me. This girl I met online asked me my body count. I told her 4. When she says that seems low for a guy who looks like me, I think I said something stupid like, well, they put up a hell of a fight. Yeah, didn't get a second date. Gad Guard says, I'm sorry, but that's hilarious. That's a hilarious miscommunication. Um, Queen, this queen says they died with horror, lol. But seriously, these people are taking it left. But this is nothing but a red pill, red flag. Somebody asks you this question, there's no answer that's going to make them happy. They're already just thinking of you and all of the people that you have already made love to, made passionate love to. Like, oh my gosh, she's had her back blown out how many times? And then they're just going to be thinking about this other man who has taken you to the depths of ecstasy and how they can't overcome that, and they don't think of you as a person that might want to connect with you on a deeper level and all of that. No, you have been tarnished by another man. Anyways, join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Is this a red line from you? Do you mark these people off? Are they dateable? Are they salvageable? What do you think of this question? I think it's a no-go, along with, so what do you bring to the table? Let me know. Like, comment, share. So I was tagged in this post, and it was posted in the True Off My Chest subreddit. So the boyfriend is 40 and the OP is a 23-year-old man. So it says, boyfriend 40 asked me to marry him after dating 2 years. He planned out the logistics of our marriage. Is this a red flag? Now, this person has already given us an update. I will come back to the update in just a moment. All right, so here's the post. Boyfriend, 40, and me, 23-year-old man, have been together for 2 years. We met at work, both nurses, and regardless of our age difference, we really do great together. He recently left the hospital where we met and worked to go to a different hospital. Since the move, he's been spending more time at my place, which isn't a huge deal. It cuts off 15 minutes of his commute. Usually when he has his kids, he will stay at his place. I manage my finances pretty efficiently. This is important for later. I have a little bit of a fear of mostly money because I don't have the backing of my parents like my sister does. See prior post about my sister. I think this started last week when I was paying bills and updating my monthly budget spreadsheet. That this he has seen many times before. While we have never directly talked about money, I never really thought we needed to. He has commented on how impressed he is with the way I manage mine, and he could never be as responsible as I am. This 40-year-old man who has kids is not as responsible as a 23-year-old. Wow, red flags. Okay. Last night we went to dinner and we were having a great time. He asked me to marry him. He went on to say that he knew that I was the one because I was so unlike his ex-wife, and he knew he could trust me. He had the entire logistics of our marriage planned out, right down to how our finances were managed. I would be managing them. He said he has no issues handing over his paycheck, and he would save the receipts like I do to track the spending. I'm flattered, but at the same time, I really don't know how I feel about this. He is beyond helpful when he is here. We have an amazing chemistry. His kids are all teens, so I don't have to worry about raising kids, but something just feels off. Am I missing something? Okay, so here's the update. He says, I didn't think I would have an update this quick. However, thanks to my neighbor, coworker, well, here we go. A lot to think about. She came over to check on me to make sure I was okay. We had a couple of really difficult cases, and she wanted to see if I needed to talk about it. As it turns out, I was okay about that, but she could tell something else was wrong. I told her about last night. Her words were, I like him. He's a nice guy, but don't do it yet. You need to give it some time. She also suggested a trial run. I asked her to be more specific. She said, live together for a bit. Don't ask to be added to his bank accounts, but ask that you have access to his online banking so that you can log in and manage his finances, and ask that he contribute financially to your or my household. That will be a big telltale sign. She mentioned that I haven't met his kids yet. And if we're going to live together, that this is something that we need to look into as well. They could be spending a lot of time here. Good point. That is some red flags if he asked this man to marry him and he hasn't yet met his kids. That's a little bit bold. However, as she pointed out, this goes further and deeper than I ever thought it was going to go, and she managed to bring it out. I was looking at some travel sites. I have 80 hours of vacation time that I need to start using up. Really, I was just dreaming about going someplace. I want to wait until my house and car are both paid off. I use all of my bonus and overtime money to pay extra on both. I want these paid off way early. That's my fear of money. She asked if I was going to actually go someplace. I told her no, it's just a dream for now. Here's the thing, I can afford to go on vacation, but if I have to use my credit cards, I want the house and car paid off first. So it's less to worry about. She dug a little deeper. I was telling her about a couple of people I know from high school who came from wealth like I did and who are still traveling. Their parents are funding it. I went directly to school, work, and career, house and car payments. I told her that sometimes I get jealous about this. She has met my family, so she knows what my parents and sister are like. So she pointed out that they robbed me of my youth. They put me in a situation that I had to do things the way I did, and now I have someone who is trying to maybe almost do the same thing. Either way, she said, we need to have a conversation. She said, I need more time. I need to try and get over my fear of money and to try to travel and make up some of the lost time. Maybe I need to get into therapy and talk about some things. I think we would have talked further in detail, but she got called in. LOL, either way, it looks like I need to have a conversation with my boyfriend. And it sounds like he absolutely does. It is so important to have these conversations. And I'm so glad that there are communities where people can have these conversations and talk things out. It is a red flag that a person is trying to, like, they see you doing well, and then it's just like they hone in. They want to tap into those resources for whatever reason because you have the resources, because you have been responsible, and then someone needs to come mine for those resources. All right, y'all. I'm not doing the comments on this, but I do want to hear what you guys think. Jump in the comments and let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.